Hey everyone, welcome to the LifeNGeer podcast where truth leads to joy and adventure. I'm your host, Justin. I'm here with...
Hey, this is Kevin Geer.
Kevin Geer.
Excited you're back listening to the LifeNGeer podcast. We're excited today.
Woo! We got a fun episode coming up. We're going to talk about that.
I don't know if I would say fun.
Every conversation we have is fun, Kevin.
Oh, good. If you say that not in a high voice, I would agree. This is a unique one. It's a like you're going to hear it and you may want to move us up to speed 3.
Ooh.
But if you stay at speed 1.5, if you stay at speed 1, I apologize. That's just slow now.
I listen to podcasts at regular speed.
I listen to books at, well, we already know this. So
yeah,
but I think this is going to be a podcast that I think is going to slow people down.
Yeah,
to think differently.
Yeah,
I think that's important.
We'll talk about that here in a second. But before we do that, what have you been up to, man?
I started a new thing. You know, I'm always starting new stuff.
No, not you.
Yes,
Kevin?
and with all the time I have in my calendar,
Right.
I added something.
Okay.
That takes an hour and a half a day.
Ooh, every single day?
Monday through Friday.
5 days a week?
5 days a week, I'm working out at a gym called Fuel.
Ooh.
This podcast is sponsored by Fuel. They paid $0 for this.
Fuel. You're actually paying for this.
Yes, I am paying for this. Yeah, I started a
Fuel Fitness. Okay.
Fuel Fitness. I'm working out 12:30 to 2, and I'm working out with a guy who's a loyal listener to our podcast.
Okay.
Mark and Candy Van Fracken. They are.
That's a fun name.
Well, I don't even know if I pronounced it right, to be honest with you. And they're probably looking at each other right now, going, "We have told him so many times." But,
you've been known to do that.
I have, but so we work out at 12:30, and then I work out hard, and then I come back and finish my day strong here at the church.
So what kind of like workouts are you doing?
Why are you looking at me with that face?
Okay, first of all, I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
You're better than I am because I'm not working out, so I'm not judging you at all.
I we get there. I could do 10 minutes on the treadmill.
Okay.
And then I do a 30-minute, which is equals to about 5-6 exercises.
Okay.
And I'm using a app. This podcast is brought to you by, and it's called FitBod.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, that's what I want. I want
like
a fit bod, not a dad bod, but a fit bod. And so it tells you what muscles are sore and then gives you a exercise for that day that uses recovered muscles and it gives time for your other muscles to heal. And it's been perfect.
How does it know which one of your muscles are sore? Is it like
because it
signals
knows
to your body?
It knows the exercise you did the day before.
I get you.
And what muscles it worked. And then it knows how long those muscles take to recover. And so like today I did a plank.
Oh, yeah. Dude, do you remember when you planked speaking here at church?
Yeah, when I was speaking at the church, I planked online. Yeah. Well, this was a minute plank, and my whole body was shaking, and I mean, my fat was jiggling, and it was violent.
Good.
Violent. I did it twice. So I've been doing that every day. This is new for me. And, I don't feel, this is what's fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm not eating lunch. I drink like a protein shake before and after, but I'm not eating lunch, and I don't feel like I've lost any time in my day, but I do feel like I've gained more in my day.
Sure.
So isn't that interesting? I think there was a podcast that we did a couple times ago that talked about how to add an hour to your day.
Sure, figure that out.
I haven't lost anything, but I feel like I've gained, so I'm pretty excited about that.
So are you eating like does your eating change too? Like, are you doing breakfast? Are you allowed to eat breakfast? Are you doing intermittent fasting along with it, or?
I really like food. And so I haven't figured all that out yet. I'm eating less because, I don't want to waste because I'm not doing lunch, and I usually have big lunches. And so now I'm just still figuring out that. Next podcast, you should ask me about that because I'll know more information. I'm 1 week in and sore as can be.
Yeah, good.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. And I'm still I got 1 class left in my doctorate.
Ooh.
Hallelujah.
Like, is this one that you have to like go to?
Music. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Not the music I was thinking.
It's like angels just arrived.
Sorry, that's all I have loaded on the
Okay,
board.
we gotta get the Hallelujah song in here by next podcast.
Yeah.
But
And
there you go.
That's your
my
favorite.
That's my favorite. So.
That's fun. Anything else you got going on?
No, but I've been all over the place since last month. I've been in, I don't know. I was in Houston. I taught a master's class in Los Angeles, and we all went to Disneyland. And
Sweet.
I was on paradigm shifts. That we should do a podcast on paradigm shifts.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay, maybe next month. Paradigm shifts.
Ooh.
How to live the life you've always wanted.
Sounds like it could be a movie.
You can say anything and then add that tagline to it, and it sounds good. I am sorry. How to live the life you've always wanted. Paradigm shift. How to live the life you've always wanted. Chocolate shake. How to live the life you've always wanted.
Yeah, I guess it could kind of work.
Okay, maybe it's not as powerful as I want. But you have something that's interesting to share with us today.
I do. What do I have?
Well, do you remember last podcast?
Oh, yes.
This is awesome.
This is cool. So we have people. So we were making fun of Wyoming.
Yeah, well, because no one lives there.
Well, we found out that at least one LifeNGeer listener does live in Wyoming.
Okay, let me just pause. You got drums or something? Push any button.
No, she just has the same thing again.
That's all you have? Yeah,
that'll work.
Here it is. Here it is.
We're still going.
We have a listener in Wyoming. Okay, so now we're going for the state of Utah next. But let's talk about Wyoming.
So we were making fun of Wyoming, and we kind of felt bad because we weren't quite sure if there was even a Starbucks in Wyoming.
Nope.
Come to find out, we have a listener in Wyoming, and we have a Starbucks in Wyoming. What is their name? We had it.
Their name is Alicia and Richard Lloyd from Rock Springs, Wyoming.
That's awesome. There it is again.
There you go. I like that. And
thanks for reaching out.
They reached out and said, hey, we have a Starbucks. Send us a gift card.
Yeah.
Okay. And she also said, they used to attend our church.
Yeah.
And used to serve on our kids' team. And did they serve with you?
Yeah.
They served with Tanya when she was leading First Impressions. And they believe Wyoming deserves half of Yellowstone. So they were pretty upset at you for saying that Montana really should get it all. Remember when you said that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, me neither. But I think
that was Kevin.
Oh, I said
it. I don't say things like that.
So, whatever.
That's not true.
So I'm sorry. Oh, look at me. I'm practicing.
Oh, yes.
So we're going to send her a $25 gift card.
Yeah.
From LifeNGeer to her Starbucks there in Rock Springs, Wyoming.
Yeah.
You think anybody listens to us from Utah? Utah.
Probably, if there is, it's probably someone who used to go to church here.
Okay, if you're in the state of Utah,
we're going
to send you a $25 gift card. If you reach out to us, we will send you. And I'm not saying that you've been through Utah or you're camping in Utah. You have to live in Utah. We'll send you a $25 gift card.
Yes.
I'm going to do all 50 states.
There we go.
We'll see. That's a lot more money than I was planning.
This podcast also sponsored by Starbucks.
Yeah, seriously.
We're going to do one per episode. We got some episodes to do it, so we should be fine.
We should be good.
We'll spread it out. So let's get into what we're talking about. We are going to talk about, and I love this topic. I love all of our topics. I don't know. I say it every single time, but I do. I really do. It's so much fun.
We do topics we love.
Exactly.
Paradigm shifts.
How to say, I am sorry.
This is going to change your life.
I think when I saw that you were going to do this topic, Kevin, I was like,
seriously,
this is a great topic for right now, because I believe that this is, honestly, it's a lost art, because we live by what our truth is. So even though we know we may be wrong, or we know we did something wrong, we just say, we pass over this idea of genuinely apologizing.
Yes.
And I think this is critical for us to actually learn how to apologize correctly with the right heart.
I think you're so right, Justin. You do this very well. I mean, you and I have worked long enough. We've had to apologize to each other before, and you do this very well. It is you said a lost art. I don't think I could have said it better. That's excellent. It's a powerful statement. Yeah. I am sorry. It's powerful.
It is,
and it's healing.
Yep.
And I think it requires humility. To say it, but we'll get into all that. But here's what I wrote. They're such freeing words, for you and for others.
Yeah.
And I, when I do funerals, one of the statements I will say when I'm at the end of a message, I'll make this statement: let's live life saying, I love you often, and I'm sorry when necessary.
Yeah.
And so how do you say, I am sorry? That's what we're gonna jump into. And I think a great spot to start is talking about why would we apologize? Like, when do you know? Like, you don't want to be the person that apologizes for everything. Pendulum swing. I'm sorry. You're just like, stop apologizing.
Right.
Okay. I'm sick of you.
I've had people in those in my life, and you're just like, dude, just chill.
Yeah. Or just change who you are, so you don't have to say I'm sorry all the time. That's a sort of rude. But why do you apologize? I think number one, you apologize because you're wrong.
Yeah.
That's pretty straightforward. When you're wrong and you know you're wrong And maybe you're thinking about something right now that you know you were wrong about. And you're like, oh, dumb. This podcast already got me. Admit it.
Yeah.
Hey, I was wrong. I'm amazed at how hard this is for people to admit they're wrong.
It totally. Well, again, it comes back to kind of why I think I'm very passionate about this.
Come on.
Is that we're so prideful,
Yes.
especially in America. I'm just going to talk about it. I don't know the whole world, but I'm talking about in America. We're so prideful that we refuse to admit that we're wrong, and we'll just skirt around everything. We might even say sorry, and then it goes with, I think you might actually have this point, but.
Yeah.
And then we have an excuse. So if I stole your thunder, I apologize.
You didn't. And it does. We'll get there, but it is pride. It's the defend of our position.
Mm-hmm.
It's the I would rather ruin the relationship than admit I am wrong.
Yeah.
Because my pride is more important to me than the relationship.
Yeah.
And this, by the way, this happens among siblings.
Yeah.
This happens among coworkers. This happens in marriages.
Yeah.
That people are like, I would sacrifice that just to be right.
Yeah.
When I'm sorry, when you know that you're wrong, just admit it. Just admit you were simply not right, and you defended the wrong position. Just admit it. I think there's another reason why you need to apologize. When you hurt someone's feelings, apologize.
Yeah.
You might even be right in your point.
Yeah.
But you communicated your point in a way that hurt feelings. Oh, I was going to say a very arrogant thing. I was going to say, this is usually why I have to apologize. But then that's assuming I'm always right. Okay, void that. But
you still said it, so we're so good.
I know. But sometimes you will hurt people's feelings, and you were right, but you said it in a way that hurt their feelings. And so you're apologizing for their hurt feelings.
Yeah.
Another time that you might need to apologize, we'll talk about how in a minute. This is just the why. Maybe the relationship is hurt.
Yeah.
Maybe the relationship is broken. It might not even be feelings. It's just this tension there.
Yeah.
And you're sorry that whatever you were talking about, get this, the relationship should be more important than the issue.
Yeah.
And so you're sorry that the relationship is broken, and we'll have to revisit the issue when the relationship can handle the discussion on the issue.
Yeah. I know for me, a few years into our marriage, I realized how important I am sorry was to my personal marriage.
Yeah.
And I started taking it serious. I remember like having conversations with my wife of talking about the need for us to be able to humbly come to each other and say, I am sorry in those situations. It literally has changed. Apologizing with a genuine heart had changed our marriage for us.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful. You know, one of the areas I found I'm sorry to be strong is going into my kids' rooms. Sitting down beside them saying, hey, Daddy lost his temper.
Yep.
Or Dad lost his temper, depending on where the relationship is, my older kids or my younger kids.
Yeah.
Or my mother, your mother. No, I don't apologize for her.
Your mom's sorry.
Your mom is sorry. No, that's it. But you know what I've found, excuse me, is your kids love you more when you apologize sincerely.
Yeah.
Because it gives room for them to be human too,
Yeah.
because you're human. So I think that's a powerful reason why we apologize.
Yeah.
They're freeing words for both parties usually.
Yeah.
Now, I think before you apologize and before we jump into the how, because I have several things on the how, I do think it's important that we slow down and talk about the heart check before sorry. So we don't turn into the I'm sorry person all the time.
Yeah.
So here's the first thing I would think about when we're talking about the heart check. This is sort of what I go through before I say an apology. Make sure that you apologize for what you're sorry for.
Yeah.
I don't want to apologize if I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
And that means if I'm not ready to say I'm sorry, I have work still to do in my heart.
Yeah.
Because to say I'm sorry is not a token checklist item.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I am. I have to genuinely be true in my apology. Because if you do it what would be a good word there?
Is it
insincere?
Ingenuine?
If you do it insincerely,
that'll work too.
That works. You're that's felt and that's known and that's not accepted and you haven't done anything.
No.
But so heart check.
Yeah.
Am I truly sorry? And what I do is I practice it. I practice saying it. I practice it in my head. I'm sorry. I think the other heart check that I have to do is, and I think this is important, I'm sorry doesn't mean I change my position.
Okay. Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why people don't apologize. They don't. They feel they're right, and they know they hurt that friend's feelings, and they don't want to apologize because they feel they're right.
Right.
So don't apologize for being right.
Right.
But apologize that I hurt your feelings and I genuinely never wanted to hurt your feelings.
I've had this where it's more in my response for the need for the apology than necessarily my stance, especially with my kids you were talking about. Yeah. My kids, it's like, oh, I reacted the wrong way. I was still right in why I was reacting. I was just wrong in the way I reacted. I actually just had this a few nights ago with my oldest daughter. I went into her room and I said, the way I reacted and the way I responded to you was wrong. So I apologize for that. What I was saying was correct.
Right.
But the way I said it and how I responded to you was incorrect. And so that's what I'm apologizing to you for. And then that led to a healthy conversation of what we were talking about.
And it might have, even when you apologize, it opened the door for a healthier part of the conversation to move forward.
Her whole demeanor changed.
The defense wall is down.
Yeah.
One of the things I think is important, and I even watched you as you were saying that, and you were accurate in how you say it, because you were going to add a but, like, I'm sorry, but I was right, and you didn't.
Yeah.
It's, I'm sorry, and you deal with the sorry. You don't deal with the but.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, because that's what we do. I'm sorry, but I'm still right.
Right.
You're not apologizing for being right. You're apologizing that you hurt the person.
Yeah.
So, and I'll get into the how in just a minute, but don't apologize and then put a but at the end of it.
Yeah.
An apology ends with no conjunction.
Yeah.
An apology ends with a period and maybe even a hug emoji. It's a say I apologize, and the point of what you're doing is to acknowledge, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Maybe right now, if you're listening to the podcast, wherever you're at, maybe think of an area that you could, this sounds funny, but that you could practice this. Like, think of something you could apologize for and say, hey, I'm going to practice this today to somebody. I'm just going to go apologize for something. It's good practice. Just say, I
Please come up with some examples.
Okay. So, like, you know what? I did not start the dishwasher last night. I'm going to go apologize to my wife about that. You know what? I didn't put my toothbrush away, or my hair stuff, or my curling iron, or I'm giving ladies opportunities. I haven't cleaned my area of the bathroom in 7 months. Okay. I'm going to apologize for that today. This is not personal. I didn't feed the dog yesterday. You know how many things you could come up with to apologize?
Well, are we going to start apologizing too much, though?
No. You're just that's a good question. You're just practicing it today.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you how to apologize here.
Cool.
And I just want you to give it a run through. No, you're not going to apologize for everything. But you get to practice it right now. So here it is. Think of something.
Okay.
Think of something. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to think of something. Okay, now, how do you apologize? How do you apologize?
Oh, crickets.
You
got more in there than you made it sound.
You have crickets and you don't have hallelujah.
We got to do that.
I'll load it for next month. Okay?
We should record us saying hallelujah.
Oh, well then, why don't we just say it?
Oh, you bring up a valid point.
Okay, well, I have one more. You know what? I have 6 points that are valid right here.
Oh, okay.
Con, how to apologize. We're getting into the meat of this. How to apologize.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so you're thinking about what you're going to apologize for. Doesn't matter how serious it is. And maybe it's significant. How to apologize. Number 1, be specific. Say, I am sorry because, not but.
Yeah.
I am sorry because I did this.
Yes.
Or it is my fault that we did this.
Yeah.
Be specific. And say, so let's say I didn't start the dishwasher. It's a simple one, but we get it. I am sorry because I did not start the dishwasher and I told you that I would do that.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what when you're that specific, the dishwasher doesn't become the issue anymore. The relationship becomes the issue. I am sorry because. That's the first thing. You have to be specific. The second thing then is be direct and take responsibility. So express regret. So I am sorry. So let me add to that sentence.
Yeah.
I am sorry. I did not start the dishwasher last night when I said I would. And now that puts you in a hard position throughout the day. You know? And that makes sense. So I'm being direct. I'm taking responsibility. I'm expressing the regret. And here is the kicker. And because I'm sorry, when I say I'm sorry, I'm saying I'm going to change my pattern.
Yeah.
I'm sorry leads to future different behavior.
Yeah.
At least attempted future.
And you're not saying change your stance. You're saying the pattern of whatever your response was or whatever it is.
Maybe it depends on the issue.
Sure.
If it's I forgot to do the dishwasher, my pattern is going to be I'm going to try to be more conscientious of starting the dishwasher.
Yeah.
If I'm right and I'm hey, you know what? I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings when I made this point. And I should have made this point in a way that considered your feelings more than me just saying my point.
Yeah.
What I'm acknowledging is my point hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about that.
When we start apologizing for hurting people's feelings, are we saying that, or more of like how we did it? Is that what we're saying? Because if I'm having a conversation with you and I hurt your feelings are hurt by what I'm saying, but I'm saying it with appropriate tone, I'm saying anything, and your feelings are hurt, do I need to apologize for that?
Depends on how the person is reacting to it.
Okay.
If I think if someone's feelings are hurt, I want to draw attention to it and say, I never intentionally tried to hurt you.
Sure.
So what I'm doing is I'm acknowledging how they're responding.
The hurt is there.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
That was not my intention.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
Sure.
But I do, and sometimes I do it accidentally.
Yeah.
I just need to be emotionally intelligent to realize I messed up here. Now I need to go back and say that. Again, I'm not creating, and you got to hear this. This requires emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you walk around on tiptoes.
Sure.
Or saying sorry for every little thing.
Right.
I just think let's move the pendulum a little bit
Yeah.
so that when you know you need to, you're going to use those powerful words.
Yeah.
And you know what I find? It's not that we have, in exceptions, it's not that we're apologizing too much.
Mm-hmm.
There are the exceptions.
Yeah.
It's that we're not apologizing enough. Like you said, it's a lost art.
Yeah.
I think it's appropriate. So when I'm sorry, it means here's a better way of saying what I was saying.
Okay.
If given a chance to do it again, I would do it different.
Sure.
That's what I'm sorry is
Yeah.
saying. Given a chance to do it differently, I would do it differently. That doesn't mean I'm changing my position.
Yeah.
Or maybe it does mean
Sure.
my position was wrong.
Yeah.
I might have to apologize and say that. I think it's important. This one's not fun. Number 3, to use appropriate tone when you apologize.
I think this one, and we'll get to the next one. I think these next two, for me, are the most important part of the apology.
Yeah, the one after this one is the key.
Yeah.
But we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But you're right.
I'm just teasing a little bit.
You're getting people are like, speed fast through this one. Use appropriate tone.
Yeah.
That means you are calm and heartfelt.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean it sounds like this. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
You're still reacting.
Yeah, that is not an apology.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a defense statement. And so you want to be calm.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have forethought. Remember, before we talked about these 6 points, it's check your heart, make sure your heart is right.
Yeah.
And then, one of the things that I have found when I apologize to Tiffany is I'll say her name first.
Yeah.
I'm Tiffany. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The name is powerful,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm acknowledging, hey, this is to you. I am sorry, and it helps my tone, and it helps me be calm. Sometimes I know I need to apologize, but my heart's not ready to apologize, and I have to give it a break.
Yeah.
I have to go, okay, I got to come back and do this.
Yep.
Now, I will say this, kicker, this is not in my notes, and that is this. In 25 years of marriage,
wow, that's a long time.
we've never gone to bed without an apology. that we've never carried a conversation of disgruntledness overnight.
Yep, agree.
That is a commitment that we have never broken.
Yep.
And it's been powerful.
Yep.
So at least, I mean, we've stayed up till 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
But we're getting a hug and a kiss before we go to sleep, and the words are often exchanged. I am sorry for this. I am sorry for that, and we sleep better.
Yeah.
We sleep more, and you don't wake up with tension.
Yeah.
I've seen my kids go to bed feeling that way, and then they wake up in a bad mood, and I go, "You went to bed with a bad heart. Don't go to bed with a bad heart. You come and make it right before you do not go to sleep with a bad heart."
I think
to as much as you can.
Yeah, I think the appropriate tone shows so much respect to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
It just is, I respect you, even if it's something like you were saying, even if you're disagreeing, they're still showing that sign of respect there.
Yeah. Oh, you're right on. Why don't you take point 4?
I love this one, and I think, like I said, the last one and this one I think are the most important ones in the overall.
Yeah.
I think if you have these two down,
the rest come pretty
your
good.
Words, you don't have to have a lot of words or all of the right words if you have these two things. So we have appropriate tone and then make eye contact.
Whoa. Why make eye contact? Why is that one so powerful?
When you make eye contact, it's almost like it's heartfelt. It is. I see you. I'm speaking from my heart to your heart of whatever our situation is, and I want you to know that I truly, genuinely mean what I'm saying. Yeah. When you make eye contact, there's a connection that has to be made.
Yeah, I think you're so right. And there's 2 things that I think about when I make eye contact. First one, when you look down and you're avoiding eye contact to say I'm sorry, you're either communicating you're not sorry, or you're defeated.
Yeah.
And in I'm sorry, there should never be a defeat.
Yeah.
It's restoration.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing,
you and I are working hard to make good eye contact
right now. The other thing about eye contact, often humility is part of eye contact.
Yeah.
I'm admitting I'm wrong, and by looking you in the eye, saying I am sorry, I'm facing up to what I did.
That's so good.
Eye contact is, and eye contact allows the hearer to see the genuineness. You can tell a lot by looking in people's eyes what's going on. A lot of communication is not the words, but the facial expressions.
Oh, yeah.
And so when you're genuine apologizing, let your eyes apologize. And that's powerful.
Yeah.
So, and then we've already talked about number 5 here. When you're apologizing, be thinking about that apology that you're going to practice today. And you're gonna make eye contact. You're going to use appropriate tone. You're going to be direct, and you're going to take responsibility. You're going to be specific of what you're apologizing for. And then number 5 is avoid excuses.
Yeah.
This is a hard one. Probably
it's
pause the podcast
so natural.
and have your kids come to listen to this one. My kids do this all. I'm sorry, but this was going on, and I'm like, I don't care what was going on. Okay. Don't justify your reasoning when you're apologizing. Avoid the excuses.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not an excuse person at all. I don't like excuses. I think it's, and I've seen this in your work, Justin. You just step up and own it. And that's, as a leader, can I tell you, when you own it, it's frustrating to me at times because I want to point out all the reasons why it failed, and you're like, I just own it, and like, well, then I don't know, I don't get to release my anger on you. You're owning it. It's powerful to own it.
Yeah.
And then I cheer for you.
Yeah.
And so I try to do that same thing. It's just, you know what? Avoid excuses. I'm sorry. Shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have looked at you that way. Shouldn't have used that. There's a lot of things to apologize for. And that's it.
Yeah.
No buts, nothing after that.
I love it.
And then the final one of this podcast, before you are done listening and you run off to send that text apology.
Oh wow, we're texting them.
No, that was like, wow. That was a kicker to see if people were listening. You don't text an apology. It's face-to-face or phone-to-phone if you need to, or FaceTime to FaceTime.
Can we address that for a second?
Go ahead.
Gen Z apologizes to text all the time. All the time. Do you think that's wrong?
Such a great question. The matter what you're apologizing for determines how the apology needs to happen. So let me say this. I don't want anyone today to practice through the text. I want you to do it face-to-face, so find that.
Yeah.
But in real world, if it's the dishwasher, I'm going to apologize through text to my wife probably. If I hurt her feelings,
I like where you're going with this.
I'm going to take the time to call her.
Yeah.
Because her feelings mean that much more to me.
Sure.
Or to the best that I can.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it depends on the matter in which you have hurt the person.
Yeah.
If I feel like a text is good enough and the response doesn't come back appropriately, then I haven't apologized.
Yeah.
Then I need to up it to face.
So our apology based on the person's response?
No, but if I do it by text, which is the lowest form of communication, it means I try again at a higher level of communication.
That's valid.
When I've tried the highest level of communication and it is still rejected, an apology can't be rejected.
Yeah.
I don't apologize for the person to accept it. I apologize to admit that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I can't determine if they accept it or not.
Completely agree. Yeah.
The apology is as much for my own heart as it is for their heart.
Yeah.
They can reject my apology, but in my mind, if I know I was genuinely sorry, my heart's going to be better. My heart's going to be softer. I practiced humility.
Yeah.
They just might have their own issues and will reject it. And that leads me to actually my point 6. Don't be defensive.
Yeah.
The goal is not, when you apologize, this goes right here. When you apologize, the goal is not for the person to forgive you. That's not the goal of apology.
Sure.
The goal of an apology is to admit that I was wrong.
Yeah.
They may not choose to forgive me.
Yeah.
There are people in this world that have not forgiven me for things that I've done, and I was genuinely sorry.
Yeah.
But they didn't like a certain way I said something, or the way I preached something, or whatever.
Yeah.
That can be. The goal is for you to communicate you're sorry, and sometimes after you apologize, you just need to listen to what comes next, because this is a kicker. I have often found that when I apologize and I say I'm sorry for a certain thing, what comes next from them is genuinely an unfiltered heart. So after you apologize, listen closely, because you're going to get to the heart of the matter.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to hear
for the relationship. And that's the power of saying, I'm sorry, for my own heart. And then I listen.
Yeah.
So there it is. Let me run down those how to apologize steps. I hope you're excited to go apologize to somebody. Here it is. I know who I'm going to. I have one planned this afternoon. Number one, be specific.
I'm so curious now.
Number two, well, that's another podcast. Number two, be direct and take responsibility.
Yeah.
Number three, use appropriate tone. Number four, make eye contact. Number five, avoid excuses. And number six, don't be defensive.
Good.
The goal is not for the person to forgive you,
but
for you to express you're sorry.
It's good. Good stuff. Great conversation, Kevin. If you haven't already, be sure you subscribe to our podcasts on here. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, Google. We still don't know what Stitcher is, but we're on there.
That was awesome. Also, we'd love for you to follow us on Facebook. Hey, why don't you share this new podcast on your Instagram or your Facebook account or whatever you're finding it on? Share it, give us a review. And if you're in the state of Utah, I don't think we're going to get anybody. If you're in the state of Utah, Mormon or not, I don't care.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead and send us. Do I need to apologize for that statement?
You should apologize for that statement.
I'm sorry.
We have some.
I think you hurt Justin's feelings.
There's
something.
I apologize if that was a terrible thing. But Utah's full of Mormons. I know that. I go there. It's like Southern Idaho. Do you know Southern Idaho's full? A lot of Mormons live there. And a lot of people, I just learned this, a lot of people in the Mormon religion, you look like you're dying, are moving from Utah to Southern Idaho because Utah is not as Mormon as it used to be.
I'll be dipped.
I just learned that. I was just saying, I'm being inclusive. Go ahead. If you're in Utah, let us know. We'll send you $25 gift card from Starbucks to the first person that reaches out.
What if we have like 10 people?
To the first person that reaches out. I knew where you were going. Okay, I'm done before I get in any more trouble.
Hey, that's all we have for you today. I'm your host, Justin, and for Kevin and myself, thank you so much for listening to the Life and Gear podcast, where truth leads to joy and adventure.